Like I said, my name is Kyle Ohradzansky. I'm the pass game coordinator, quarterbacks coach at the University of Findlay. It's a pleasure to get a chance to put this together for you. Appreciate Nick doing this for everyone. This is just a quote that we use in our quarterback room constantly. And I don't need to sit here and just read it to you, but a lot of what we do as quarterbacks is scheme driven. And for our guys, we try to make it more centered around the spirit at which they lead, because they are the leaders of the offense, right? They're the quarterbacks. They lead everything. So we try to center around their energy, their enthusiasm, and that's what I really think that this quote brings. There's 4 things that we talk to our quarterbacks about constantly, and that is competitive. I don't care what we're doing. I don't care where we are. We could be, throwing rocks in a parking lot. We could be playing tiddlywinks. It doesn't make a difference, right? I want the most competitive people in that quarterback room, bar none. Everybody talks about it, but those guys are constantly competing in every single thing that they do. I mean, just last night we were on a Zoom call with the entire offense, very similar to the one that I'm on right now. But the quarterbacks had to present on leadership to the rest of the offense, and they were competing to see whose part of the presentation was going to be the best. So that is that'll tell you a little bit of the makeup of the guy that we look for. Then you have to talk about toughness, and that's just not physical toughness. You're talking about mental toughness there as well. The way that we train our guys is it's going to be harder Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday than it is on Saturday. It's not an easy position to play. You win, you get way more credit than you deserve. You lose, you get way more blame than you deserve. It just is what it is. That's the nature of playing the position. And you talk to any of our quarterbacks, you won't ever hear them talk about something being unfair or something being unreasonable. If you didn't want that expectation, if you didn't want that responsibility, don't play quarterback. I don't want to hear it. That's the nature of the position. You knew what you signed up for when you said you wanted to play quarterback. And we talk to them all the time about being consistent. If you're going to lead a group of guys, one of the things that they're going to see right through as a leader is they're going to see right through a guy that's going to be different on every single day, right? High, low. I'm trying to be Mr. Rah-Rah. Now I'm going to be Mr. Focused, and I'm going to just do my job and lead by example. No. We ask our guys to be the same every day. And that's not to say, you're not going to have a high, you're not going to have a low like that. Those things are going to happen, but you need to consistently be yourself. Okay. And then trustworthiness and being trustworthy. We talk to our guys all the time about that, because it goes hand in hand with everything else that we're talking about, right? Can I trust you to be competitive? Can I trust you to be tough? Can I trust you to be consistent? If we can trust you to do those things, and then that's a 2-way street, because you have to trust us as well. I'm talking about myself, the head coach, and then the offensive coordinator as well. So those are some of the things we talk about with our quarterbacks on a consistent basis. So then the way that I look at when I'm setting up my practice plan, when I'm setting up my drills for our quarterbacks, the way that I look at it is the very first thing I always think about is I never want to forget what it's like to be behind a mask. I was fortunate enough, I played quarterback at Canton McKinley High School, where my dad was defensive coordinator, and a guy that he knew for a really long time was head coach. And then I was fortunate enough from there to play at Lafayette College out on the East Coast in the Patriot League, 1AA school, and then finish my career at Baldwin Wallace. But one of the things that I never want to forget is I don't ever want to forget what it's like to be behind a mask. The second that you do that, and I firmly believe this, the second you forget what it's like to be behind a mask, you will lose the group that you are coaching. We don't try to ask our quarterbacks to be superhuman. We don't ask them to try to see 53 and a third. You can't. Last time I checked, you can't see out both sides of your helmet. I can see out of one side. So don't forget what it's like to be behind a mask. And then again, don't drill just to drill. They need to know what the purpose is behind why you're doing the drill. And that goes into understanding the why behind why we drill and why are we doing this drill. Like our quarterbacks will tell you that when I'm working a backstep drill, it's so that I can ensure that my backstep is not too big. So get them to understand the why. And then this is one of the things that I did wrong when I first started into coaching. I thought every single drill that I did had to be the most complex, intricate, right, groundbreaking thing ever. And it doesn't. It really doesn't. Sometimes simpler is better. And what I mean by that is, it might be something as simple as I want to work his eyes in this drill, right? I want to make his eyes go from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. There's some merit to that. I mean, that's going to happen on third down. So let's not forget about the simple, okay? And this is what I'm talking about when I say don't forget what it's like to be behind a mask, right? From time to time, I will jump into the drills with them and do them. It gives them some good comedic relief. They like to make fun of me, but it is a good opportunity to get them and show them like, hey, I can still do this, right? I didn't forget what it's like to be in your shoes, okay? Our strength coach talks about it all the time. If I'm going to ask you guys to do something, I'm going to put myself through it first. And to a point, I have no interest in having defensive linemen run me over anymore, but that's beside the point, okay? One of the things that we talk about from day one when the kids get here is ball security. So in the time that our head coach has been here at the University of Findlay, his name's Rob Keys. He's done a phenomenal job here. All right. This stat is more telling than anything. And you guys can obviously read, but when we win the turnover battle, we win the game 91% of the time. I like those odds. I take them all the time. If you told me I won 91% of my games, I think I'd be pretty happy. Okay. And then you can see, take it to the other extreme. We lose a turnover battle. You win 31% of your games. Last time I checked, that gets us fired. So moving on. All right. Now, what we talk to our guys about is we talk to them about when I'm going into traffic, right? I don't have the sideline. We talk to them about clamp the wrist right there, right? And this is our quarterback on the second to last play of the game against Ferris State. They're ranked number two in the country. And that drill that you're going to see here in a second showed up in one of the most critical situations that we had the entire season. So we start every practice off with a ball period. Okay, so basically what you have going on here is we're pitching the ball to every single guy, and you can see we have about 20 footballs right here, and bang, 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 bang. All right, now we'll just let this run here. I'm going to optimize this so runs a little bit smoother for you guys. So we're just pitching those balls over, pitch the ball over, pitch the ball over, pitch the ball over, pitch the ball over. And so now the way that we're talking to them about this is I'm getting punched on the first, right? So many times the ball comes out, I go catch, tuck, and bang, I get punched and the ball comes out, right? So we want to catch, tuck, get that punch in. We don't want to, like right here, you see this kid's turning away from the coach. No, we want to allow that contact to happen so that we get comfortable with that, okay? And then I'm clamping on the double, right? I'm simulating, I'm going into traffic, okay? Then I'm getting another punch coming out of it, right? So we talk to them about we want them to be out of the clamp then at that point, right? And then burst and finish, okay? And in case you guys can't figure it out, the guys in white are the quarterbacks. And sometimes they're not the most athletic guys in the world. The guy that I was talking about that showed up, it showed up at the end of the game, he's right here. That's Matt. He's our starter. So I will commonly refer to him by name from here on out. So that's what you have going on here with ball period. And so the way that this will go is it'll stay in this line the entire time, right? So we'll go bang, bang, bang. Now the coaches are going to switch sides, all right? We're going to stay in the same side. We'll tell them to carry the ball in the other hand now, right? So now we're getting punched in the left hand. And we'll go through this twice. And so you'll get 4 reps. It takes us about 3.5 minutes to get through. Takes about 3.5 minutes to get through about 30 guys 4 times. So give you an idea of where we're at with that. And you can see how fast and how rapid fire these things are going. Really helps just as a coach, if this is something you're looking at doing, starting practice every day with this. These 2 guys right here are extremely important. Otherwise, you're going to have footballs flying all over the place, and the guys will throw footballs at you, and that won't be fun. So, all right. This is another version of the ball period that we have right here. This is what we do on Thursdays when we want to reinforce the idea of split the double team and score, right? So you're going to see the guys clamp on the double, right there, clamp on that double, and now burst through into the end zone, okay? Now, the reason that we do this on Thursday is this is our last day of true, full speed practice. And we want to reinforce the idea, get in the end zone, 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 okay? So then this is the second to last play against Ferris, where this is what I'm talking about when I said, right, this is going to show up, that picture is going to show up on this play right here in the most critical of situations. So the picture was taken right there. And you can see it a little bit better here from the end zone, where, we're just running power. Our offensive line coach is our offensive coordinator. He's a big fan of power. Just defensive end collapsed. It's a fundamental read for us. And you see, here's the double team, right? We saw that in the ball drill right there. And there's the clamp, dive into the end zone. Okay. So, as it pertains to particular quarterback mechanics, for our guys, I don't do much with their upper body. I really don't. I'm fortunate enough, that I can go out and recruit the guys that I want, and I don't have to. I can choose the guys that I want, so I don't have to talk to them much about their motion up top, because we recruit that. All right. I know that's not exactly the answer that everybody wants to hear in a clinic, especially when guys are dealing with the guys that they have at their high schools. Okay. I get it. I understand it. We have drills for it. I don't talk about them in a clinic talk setting just because I don't have great film of them, because we really don't spend a lot of time on that. Our practice time is very valuable. With my dad being a high school coach, I did not want to talk at length without addressing that, because I want to be very upfront with you guys. I want to be able to give you something that you can use. So this really works in an entire progression here, because a lot of this stuff you're going to see, this is all during spring ball. So really what we're working on here is we'll put 2 boards down, like you see this here with that slanted edge. We'll put a pop-up in their hand, okay? So many times what we're seeing out of our guys is we are having trouble getting this right hip, this thing right here, through their throat. So what we'll do is we'll take the football out of their hands to start with, okay? And then you see how this board is angled here? Just a little, ever so slightly right there. We want that foot pigeon-toed right there, just a little bit, all right? And then we have them put it just up there on that board. And then have them just rock back and forth here. Rock back and forth, get those moving, right? And then they have to bring that hip right there to get their weight moving forward, all right? Everybody's got their warm-up progressions and stuff like that, and yeah, we do too. But this is where we start to talk about weight transition, and then I'll build it from the ground up, and you'll see as we go through this, okay? But do I ever want him throwing the football like that? Do I ever want him coming that far out of his shoes? No, there's no chance he's going to be accurate. All right, but this is a drill for us to get their hips to start moving. All right, got to get them to start moving so that I can transition through a throw. Like pretty good right there by Parker. All right. Now you're talking about, your basic boundary hitch. This isn't going to come into play. Where this is going to come into play is that field comeback, right? That field inside vertical. Can I get off that backside and transition some weight? So this is a kid that had just transferred to us, and he is struggling with understanding the concept. All right. The big thing, and I think I put this clip on here. Yes. All right. You don't want to see the bag start flipping. You start seeing the bag flip like right there. It means that he's trying to throw the bag up in the air. I want to think, throw it out. This thing should look like a projectile. Okay. The next drill, all right, that we talk about is we talk to them about being able to back step, right? The last step of my 3-step drop, all right, and then go right back into that very first drill that we talked about. Okay. So this is what I'm talking about right here. Take my short back step and notice, all right, again, we have that toe, that back foot slightly pigeon-toed, all right, right there, so that our knee can be inside of that toe, but our shoulder and our knee are in line. What that's going to allow us to do is push like a pitcher coming off the mound and generate a little bit of linear force, okay? We talked to the quarterbacks about two things: linear force and rotational force. All right. And I'll get into a little bit more of that here in a second, but that's what this right here is to generate the linear force that we're looking for. Okay. Right there. Good. All right. If you take too big of a back step, you can't generate the force moving forward because you're overextended. Right. If I overstride on my step, then I'm never going to get on top of my front leg. That position right there is what we're looking for at the release point. Okay, so this right here, now we're starting to hone this thing in to a throwing motion. Let's show you another clip here. Again, pretty good here by Parker. But yes, Parker has been here with us for this now will be his 5th year. See, like I don't like this rep nearly as much. You see how he overstrides and steps right there onto the board, and then you're going to see him start to torque to his left, right? And you can see the bag. You can see where that bag's ending up. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take the ball and put it back in their hands and generate that same feeling, okay, that we were talking about with them. All right, now we will do this a variety of different ways. We will do this to the right. We will do this to the left. We will do this straight ahead. All of the different things that we can do to generate that same back step, because the way that we teach them, okay, is this back step is going around your body where to set your hallway, okay, and I've heard people talk about it as hallways and set your launch point, all that kind of stuff. We talk about it as set your hallway, right? Because we talk about being able to stay in that linear box, okay, and still be able to rotate within it. If we can't rotate within it, right, then our box is not our box is too tight. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we talk to our guys about it. So here you should see Parker wind this back step around himself here. And he does a pretty good job of it right here. All right. I would like to see his toe be a little bit more pigeon-toed to generate that knee in to start the rotation of his hips. Okay. That's the only thing I don't like about this rep. But if you notice, that same drill that we were showing with the weight before is showing up again. The only thing is we would like to see him a little bit more forward. All right. Again, same kind of an issue here. All right. But we do get him a little bit more forward there onto his front leg. Now, this was, if memory serves, this was like one of the first days that we had pads on in this in one of our spring balls, and Parker had really struggled with overstriding. So overstriding on his back step. So that's where this drill came from, guys. Like that, I'm not some idiot savant or anything like that when it comes to quarterback play. A lot of this stuff came out of necessity. So we got Parker to shorten that back step. And then as you watch, like there, right there, he's in a great position. Right there. He's in a great position to let that ball go. Okay. And like, he's like, holy cow, coach. Like, wow, I really felt that. Yeah, I did. Right. And a lot of what we're trying to get these guys to do is feel the right feeling. Okay. If I can get them to feel the right feeling, then we got something, right? Because a lot of what we're doing with quarterbacks, okay, it does end up in the gray area, right? Like quarterback play is not a black and white deal. It lives somewhere in the gray, right? Why'd you do this? Well, I saw this. Okay, well, I saw this a little bit different, so let's have that conversation, right? So I don't believe that mechanics are very black and white, all right? Very much like a golf swing, it has to be rhythmic. And so, you know, how does this translate to a game? Well, let's take a look. All right, because we're gonna end up, defense is gonna end up, I'll give you as a hint. He's coming, he's down, he's back. All right, we're gonna end up on a bang 8 right here. All right, and because our quarterback's on time and has worked this back step drill, he makes a great shot. And I'll show it to you from the end zone shot as well. All right. But we're on time here. 1, 2, 3, right? I see the safety go, no hitch, ball. Great. Love the transition. All right. Now, this is Matt. This is our starter, not Parker. Okay. This is Matt. And you're going to notice, like I said, Parker had a little bit of an issue with that pigeon toe, all right, that we're looking for at the back of that drop. Matt is a little bit more, Parker's a little bit duck-footed, just so you guys know. Matt is a little bit more pigeon-toed than Parker. So we're able to get that position right there, right? The shoulder and knee are in a line. The foot is pigeon-toed and just slightly outside of that shoulder, right? Now I can really go ahead and push into that straight line right there. And now when you look at it from the end zone, all right, now, guys, understand this. When you're looking at game film, all right, I'm very fortunate, okay? Number 14 is really, really good, okay? I'm not going to be like, hey, you know, he did all of this because of great coaching. No, this kid right here is a really good football player, all right? My job, make sure that he knows where he's going with the ball. Let him go, okay? So, but you'll see right there, right? I love the flexion in his knee, in his hip, all right? He's got that front foot, that left foot open so that the eyeball on this ankle right there can see the throw that he needs to make. Okay, here's another great example. All right, going to be off of a little bit different action here. It's not a straight 3 drop, but understand that the way that we talk to our guys about it, if I can always get right back to the same platform that I started throwing the football with, all right, when we talk about this, like everybody, when you are warming up at the beginning of practice, right, or just messing around throwing a ball, right, I pick it up, I step and throw. Pick it up, step and throw. If I can always get back to that platform, let's not overcomplicate this, right? There's people that have written like 300-page books on quarterback play, all right? I'm very passionate about it. I could talk about it for hours, but let's not overcomplicate the actual throwing of a football, okay? If I can step and throw from a comfortable platform that I've done 1.5 million times, well, then I got something, all right? So how do I, as the coach, give him the tools to get him on time right back there? Well, okay, get yourself right back to a point where you can step and throw, right? So looking at it right here, okay, still need to take a little bit of a back step here just to get away from the protection and whatnot, all right? But the exact same thing that you saw in the previous clip, right? Look at the knee and look at the shoulder, right there. They're in a line, all right? His back foot is slightly pigeon-toed outside of his body, all right? And now we can start to transition that weight, bring that right hip through, all right, just like we were talking about in that back step drill. And then there's your straight line to finish. I'll go ahead and skip through this a little bit. But so then we get into the position where we talk about boards, all right? You know, a lot of people do different board drills, ladder drills, all that kind of stuff. I see in my world, the purpose behind this is a couple of things. I want to make sure that their shoulders are staying level the entire time. They can maintain their base, right? So I can get right back to that position of step, throw, right? They've done 1.5 million times. And then I got to be able to see their eyes work. That's what we do this for, all right? Because there's so many times where, and I've seen over the years, where I get a kid that he knows, and I know that he's ready to have that ball come out, but his shoulders are way out of whack, right? His shoulders are, you know, on some sort of an angle right here, right? His feet, he's clicking his heels, something along those lines, okay? So all I'm looking for is for them to maintain that base the entire time through this and maintain those level shoulders, okay? And so we'll change direction, right? We'll make them step around boards and all that kind of stuff. I'm not looking for them to throw some sort of howitzer through my face, anything like that, right? I just want to make sure that they can get right back to their normal throwing platform, okay? Step and throw. Now, if I ever see them get off of their normal platform, I see somebody get their heels put together or something like that, okay, then yeah, I'm going to ask for that ball right then and there, okay? So now this is where I'm talking about, like, we didn't expect the ball to go where it did here, all right? And our quarterback kind of gets caught off guard where he's like, oh, man, I got to get this thing out now, all right? We thought we were going to get a single on the tight end, and we thought we were going to be in great shape, but he's like, okay, I got to get off that, right? And he reacts right back to the inside post on double post on this side up here. He didn't expect this thing to be, the ball hadn't gone there since like day 2 of camp, right? And this is week 2, all right? So you're talking about almost a month has gone by. Well, because he was able to maintain his platform and maintain his shoulder level, he's able to make a great throw, and we score a touchdown on the the first drive of the game. And that's honestly, guys, that's what I'm talking about when I talk about drills and stuff like that. I want these things to be repeatable. I want these things to show up over and over and over again for them so that they show up in these most critical situations without our guys ever even thinking about it. Okay. And this is what I'm talking about here, where, hey, I got to react. Bang, fall. And like I said, again, this kid, number 14, that's Matt. He's really good. Good players help. They make you look really good as coaches. Let's not have too big of an ego to admit that one. All right. Now, when we talk about chopping our drop, okay, this in my mind, this shows up a lot of times in third down scenarios. This shows up a lot of times in scenarios when a team's going to bring pressure. All right. When I have to pound those feet in the ground and get the ball out. Okay. So really what our guys are doing right here is they're just dropping the line. Okay. They're dropping the line. As soon as I flash my hands, he's got to chop the drop and get the ball out. Okay. Now, a couple things that this is going to help with. It's going to force your quarterbacks to be much more rhythmic in their drops. Okay. It's also going to force them, okay, to have their feet always be in a position to get the ball out. Who's kidding who? We're playing in the gun, right? We don't need to go ahead and get way the heck out of there. All right. We're in the gun 99% of the time. All right. I'm not worried about depth. I'm worried about timing. All right. This will force them to transition weight. This will force them to be uncomfortable. Okay. You think about it. Over the years, this is Parker again. Parker's been here with us for 5 years. Parker has probably taken a drop at the University of Findlay close to 10,000 times. Okay. He's very familiar with where his feet are in his drop. So if he needs to bang, bang, get the ball out, right, pound those feet in the ground, get the ball out, he's ready to go. It forces their shoulders to stay level, right, and reinforces that quick release, which you're going to see that's going to be the next drill that I come to, all right? But you look at this, right, and I have the overlays up here for a reason. It's 4th and 12 on the 13-yard line. We're in the fourth quarter, and we need to score. Oh, boy, here we go. I said these things show up on third down and pressure scenarios. Well, 4th down and 12 is kind of a pressure scenario, all right? And you're going to see it right here, right? We're getting 2 from the boundary, all right? And I think he ends up coming inside. But anyways, all right, the quarterback sees it, recognizes it, realizes, hey, I got to chop my drop up, and I got to get this ball out, right? Here we go, right? Boom, boom, pound him in the ground, get the ball out. And now on 4th and 12 from the 13-yard line, okay, we end up picking up the first down, all right, just by a simple drill that we have done over and over and over and over again, right? And you'll get a pretty good look at it right here from the end zone with our quarterback, bang, bang, ball. All right, next drill that we're going to talk about is our quick whistle drill. This, a lot of times, guys, ties right into our warm-up. I want them to be uncomfortable right out of the get-go. I want them to have to react and start working on those reaction times as soon as practice starts. So the way that this is going to work is they're going to catch 2 snaps from me. The first snap, Red 10 said, hut, right, catch it. And they're reacting off of my whistle and off of my direction. So you're going to see Matt here, right? I'm just going to move him to the left, move him to the right. All I'm looking for right here is just one step, bang, bang. As soon as that whistle goes, deliver the ball. That whistle can go at any point in time, okay? So here you go again, right? Move him up, move him over, right? And now ball. Okay, life's good. Cool. All right, here you go. Here's Matt going the other direction now. The whistle probably went right about there. As you can see, right, he chopped his drop, showed up in the last drill, okay, to get that ball out, okay? Now go right back to the back step drill that we talk about, right, that we talked about at the beginning, right? Winding that third step around my body to set the hallway for this throw. Watch where his last step ends up going. See how it ends up going away from his target just ever so slightly? It goes away from his target so that he can start to set that hallway to his target out over here. Okay, so now, right, talk about quick whistle drill. You know, we guys, honest to God, we do a lot of stuff out of bunch and with motion and stuff like that. It makes life for the quarterback really, really easy. When it comes to things on third down, defenses do a pretty good job. The teams that we play, they do a pretty good job of trying to disguise things and blitz us and change coverage and stuff like that. So if our quarterback is not 100% on with his reads and his timing, and the receivers aren't reading things correctly, we got a chance to have some bad plays. So what we have done is we've gone to more bunch stuff. Now, what that's forced us to do is the quarterback has to play a little bit more reactionary football, right? Because when I'm in bunch sets, I have to be able to react to when things are happening. The people are going to get released at different timings. The rhythm's not necessarily always going to be there exactly the way you want it, all right? But he's able to, he hits the top of his drop, Tanner's not ready, right? Quick little reset, just like the quick whistle drill, bang, ball. Now 3rd and 6, we got the first down. Now, this one I love because this one, you know, hey, my man out here at receiver is kind of in between reads, right? And as a quarterback, it's my job to make him right. You know, so many times we talk about quarterbacks and hey, I got to see this, do this. Well, the receiver didn't make the right adjustment. Yeah, I get that, right? Are we still going to coach this kid? Yes, we are. But, okay, that doesn't help us on 3rd and 7, right? Saying, well, the receiver didn't make the right adjustment. No, the quarterback, right, has the ability to make him right at times, right? I understand that we have to see things the same way and all that kind of stuff. I get that, all right? But, again, like I said, we're going to place unfair expectations on our quarterback. He doesn't like it, don't play quarterback. So you're going to see right here, he's got a safety that's dead footing him, all right? Going to be a little bit tough to run a bender here, right? There's not a ton of room in here, all right? And this kid is not moving backwards very fast. Are we going to blow right by him? Yes, we just did, all right? So that's what I said. That reads a little bit in the gray, okay? And so how it pertains to the quarterback, you see it here from the end zone where I'm going to maintain my base. I'm going to keep working, right? Okay, I'm ready to go. Now, bang, ball. All right, and that is reinforced in the quick whistle drill, okay? It shows up right here, all right, when you talk about anticipation, because last time I checked, that linebacker ain't getting out to cover that receiver, nor is this safety getting down to cover this receiver, right? So we're going to go ahead and take uncovered rules, right? Catch, ball. All right, and so now this would be like me snapping the ball and blowing the whistle immediately. Great. We'll take 5 yards. Awesome. Okay, now when we talk about our progression drill, this is where I'm talking about their eyes. All right. How many different times can I get a key read for our quarterback, all right, in one of our concepts, right? This is a base 4 vertical concept for us, right? So I'm reading the near deep safety, right? I'm reading the bender side safety, however you guys want to term that, right? He collapses on the bender in a too high look, right? Then I'm outside to do my comeback or my dropout or however you guys term it, okay? If it were 1 high, right, we'd have the safety sitting over here in the middle, right? And then we'd be playing the seams. But right now, what we're working on is we're working on a 2 high read and 4 verticals, right? And again, guys, this is how rudimentary some of the things are, right? Read the safety, throw it to either him or him, right? And so we're going to talk about how I need to work my eyes, how my timing needs to calibrate to what I'm seeing, all right? Talking about my feet, talking about the ball, all that kind of stuff. Now, what you should see is you should start to see some of these drills, and I kind of mentioned it already, start to show up. So the stuff we've talked about already should continue to build on what we have going on, okay? Like, so right here, I'm going to tell Parker, right, like he's overstriding there, all right? But his back step is in pretty good shape, all right? His knee position is in pretty good shape. He's more pigeon-toed than we were before. We got that fixed. Knee and shoulder are in a line. And his timing's in pretty good shape. All right, just reading that safety. We got enough room to drive that bender in there. Bang, take it. Good. Now, one of the things that we're also talking to them about is ball position. All right. If I were throwing a bender here, I want to have that finite accuracy to allow him to split this thing and score. And how do I do that? I put the ball on the upfield shoulder. So we're constantly looking at that. All right. Yes, we steal the quote from the movie American Sniper: aim small, miss small. Okay. Aim small, miss small. So, like in this case right here, Parker's probably aiming, all right, at like the nut on the left side left side as we're looking at it, right side of Cade's face mats, right? That's how finite we'll get. Like, Parker, where are you aiming, right? I'm aiming at the Nike swoosh on his pants. Matt, where are you aiming? I'm aiming at the belt loop, okay? So, and that's, if I miss the belt loop by a quarter of an inch, okay, I'm in pretty good shape, right? So that's how we talk to those guys about this kind of stuff, okay? And so now we're working the safety's going to stick the bender, so we're going to work outside. All right, so I need to reset myself up, right? Good, reset. Love where his back foot is, how I'm clearing that ankle. Eyeball can see my throw. And then you talk about a very accurate throw, right? The way we throw our comebacks, they come straight back down their stem. So we want to be able to pull that guy off of his stem with the throw. Okay. So I'm going to keep buzzing through this, right? This is a lot of the 4 vertical stuff. All right. And when you work this progression drill over and over and over and over again, right? Notice that I didn't tell you whether or not it was exchange 4 verticals or it was straight 4 vertical. It doesn't matter, all right? When you work this over and over and over again, you end up making shots that look like this, okay? Because you're that on time, right? And this was one of my favorite clips, and I'll be honest, I got it from Coach Troy when he was the offense coordinator here. But I love asking this question: is he open? And the correct answer is yes. As long as you're on time and you throw an accurate ball, which is all the stuff that we work on in that progression drill. And every single thing that we're doing up until that point gets us to that point, okay? It shows up again right here. It's the exact same concept, okay? Exact same concept, all right? We're just going to get to it with a little bit of motion, all right? But, again, check out our quarterback. right? 1, 2, 3, stick it in the ground. Ball. Is he open? Again, with an accurate throw, okay, and the correct timing, the answer is absolutely. Now, this one becomes a whole lot easier, right? Gotta love it when people blow coverages, right? Somebody made a mistake here. But again, I still have to be on time to allow those big plays, those touchdowns to happen. Now you're going to see it with Cobra, right? Cobra for us is 3x1, 4 verticals, all right? And do I love it with Parker here? No, he's over-exaggerating what we're talking about, okay? But you got to walk before you run, all right? And a lot of times with our quarterbacks, okay, we're okay if this resetting process, right, 1, 2, 3, reset to get back out here, we're okay if it takes a little bit longer in this drill. I'd rather take longer here than I would in a team rep, okay? So now, okay, it shows up in the game. All right. A little bit different concept, but it's still a field inside vertical. Quarterback's going to start over here, okay, and reset his way over here. 1, 2, 3, reset, bang. All right. Now, I love this clip, okay? Quarterback recognizes that it's a version of single high, right? And we talk about it as, you know, even and odd shells and all this kind of stuff, but it's a version of single high, right? I have a middle of the field player, okay? So what that tells the quarterback is that I need to be playing my inside verticals, right? In that case, to the comeback to the side of the inside vertical I wanted to take. Okay, so as I'm going, right, this middle of the field player right here is hanging out here to the boundary. Okay, good, no problem. I should get to this seam. Do I have somebody carrying him out? Yes, get out here to my dropout. That should take us a 3-step drop and 2 resets. And when you watch it from the end zone, I love it. You see his eyes work. His eyes are leading his feet. Bang. And now on 3rd and 10, we got ourselves a first down. Right, so he recognizes one high. Good. Reset. Now reset again. Get myself out there to the field, right, and deliver that shot. Love it. The only thing that I would say is that his back foot can continue to wind around his body the more that he has to go to his left. That's why you see him start to fall off that throw there at the end, right? That's why you see this motion there. Okay. Now you're going to see this with some quick game throws and whatnot. This work right here, we're just working a basic stick concept, right? Reading the outside backer right there. Good. Love it. All right. And you'll see it show up right here. Now we're running a stick concept here with the inside receiver and the tailback. Okay. So we're just reading that outside linebacker, that sandbacker. I got to get it there before the mic gets there. Right? But he has seen that read over and over and over and over again. And great, right? That's a gain for us of about 9, 10 yards, right? Love that because we're on time and we're accurate, okay? Here it is again. Going to be down here, all right? He's seen this read over and over and over and over again, right? And on 2nd and 13, right, just because we're able to make an accurate throw, all right, we now have a 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, as opposed to a 3rd and long. All right. Now, getting into this quick release drill. Okay, this is for a lot of our RPO stuff. All right, a lot of our quick game stuff where I have the whistle in my mouth. Okay, the quarterbacks are loading balls, and the quarterback that is on a knee, it's his job to react as soon as he hears a whistle. So we may rapid fire it, okay, or we may rapid fire two and hold, and then have to react really fast. We may send the first one, hold, send the second. So we vary that cadence, so it forces him to catch that snap, make it all one motion, right? Catch a snap, all one motion into a throw. That's why we start by simulating it with the ball on the ground, right? We don't always know whether or not we're going to have the laces in every single thing that we do, all right? But Matt's doing a pretty good job here. It's all one motion, right? Bring it from the ground right into my throwing motion, right? So this is what we talk about in the quick release drill. How fast can I get this ball out? So like here, we hold him, we pause, and there you go. All right, going the other way now. All right. Now I will caution you if you're doing this, be careful with this kid. Be careful how close he's getting to these guys, because as he's feeding footballs, all right, I have seen, thankfully it wasn't our starter, but I have seen somebody hit a helmet. All right, just make sure that he's aware and he stays back and away. And then also make sure that he's doing a good job of putting the ball in the same spot every single time. Because we don't want, like here, you're seeing Matt turn and look. We don't want him to turn and look. So now you'll see Parker do it. Parker keeps his eyes up the entire time. Makes it all one motion, right? And we love it. Like you can even see the ball here in his hand right before he lets it go. Those laces are down here, all right? So it forces them to do some stuff a little bit different. Now, I will say that we were very fortunate. I got to give a shout out to my guys from Wilson. They do a lot when it comes to our footballs and what we're able to do with our footballs. So they make our lives very, very easy. Okay, so I'm going to just keep jumping through this. But this drill shows up right here with the inside slant, on double slant. You know, a lot of people have talked, I've heard people say that throwing this inside slant's hard and really we're only trying to hold this backer. No, if they're going to give us a giant hole right here, we're going to rip that ball in there. And our quarterback, you can see it, it's all one motion, ball. Because we have an accurate throw, because we're on time, because of all that kind of stuff, big gain for us. Now, we just got to get Tanner to unhook the wagon a little bit here. All right, but that is what it is. All right, big play for us, and we end up scoring on that drive. Okay, now you're going to see it again with the inside slant right here by Derek. There you go. Again, because we have a quick release, we can get this ball out on time. All right, and then we're rolling. All right, next is this RPO period. All right, this is something that we did out of necessity because we had to generate more reps for our quarterbacks, okay? More reps for our quarterbacks with their RPO reads, okay? Now, this is a very layered drill, all right? You guys can tailor it to exactly what you need out of each kid, okay? So basically what you have going on is we've stripped everything away. All right, there's no O-line, there's no tight ends, fullbacks, none of that. Okay. What we are doing is we have our safety and we have our corner, so our receivers can get their reads, our quarterback can get his reads, and our tailback can get his reads. All right, and feeling the timing of all of our RPOs. All right, so it's very, like I said, it's very simple. Right, I'm reading the safety. All right, I'm wide receiver. I'm reading the corner. All right, and then I'm making throws and reads based on that. All right, again, we're talking about those finite things, right, of ball placement. All right, the receivers are talking about eyes to tuck, right, bursting down the field. All right. So you'll see a bunch of different reads within this, right? So right now, everybody's favorite RPO glance and yada, yada, yada. And it's all well and good, right? So you'll see it right here. All right, so you'll see it again here. And guys, I have a ton of film on here. There's close to 100 clips, so I'm going to kind of just start skipping through some of this stuff. All right. And then we'll see, like we go into a stop route. And again, this is the same period, right? The receivers are reading their corner. The quarterback's reacting to what the safety's doing. All right. And again, guys, I want them to understand the why behind every single thing that they're doing. All right, you're going to see this right here. Right, I said we're going to make this harder. This right here, we're going to make this harder than it has to be on Saturday. We're going to make this very difficult on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I want him to know the why behind every single thing that he's doing. All right, every single thing that he's doing. So right here, I'm acting like I'm pissed. Right, I'm acting like I'm. He just made the wrong read, because if you go back, this safety, right here, he didn't come down, right? That would be the read, all right, there in the RPO for us. But our quarterback knew that if I had nothing in this alley and this safety's tucked in here in the box and I can generate a quick, easy throw, then great, go ahead and take it. And you're going to see this right here. So right there, I'm like, what the hell are you doing? He's like, well, coach, the safety's tucked away inside and I could guarantee my completion. It's like, good. And he's looking at me like I'm nuts. No, like I want him to feel uncomfortable, but be like, no, this is what we're doing. This is why we're doing it. Okay. So he's so 100% sure that when he does that on Saturday, okay, that's exactly what we should be doing. Okay. And guys, we are a little bit different in the way that we RPO. All right, there's a lot to it. I'm not going to get into all of the stuff that we're talking about when we talk about RPO. If you want to know more about that kind of stuff, please reach out to me. I'd love to talk to anybody that has any questions on that. All right, but you will see we'll generate every different type of RPO read that we have in our offense. Okay, now this is not just a giant throw fest. All right, you will actually see us hand the ball off. All right, so, but this kind of stuff right here, really important for us to generate as many reps of this as possible, because we do have the tailback on the opposite side of the second level player that we are reading. All right, it's really important for us so that we can generate those reads and mess with defenses that way. All right, so you guys get the idea with that. All right, and then, we have a couple different pocket escape drills that I don't think they're overly complicated. I think they have merit. I think that they're simple and they translate to games, right? So here, all I'm trying to get them to do is that defensive end is bending the edge on our tackle. All right, I want to dip that shoulder, push the ball through, protect it, all right, and then get up and out right there. If you have the ability with another support staff member or something like that to make them throw on the run, great opportunity to do that, all right? But at the same time, our quarterbacks, we run them dry. So in this case, I'm trying to take throws off of their arm, all right? So we talk about we want to push this back shoulder, in this case, down and then through the pocket. Push it down and through. Rotate the ball away from the defensive end. Okay? Now, going this way, it's a little bit harder. I got to push this thing down and then out of the pocket. Parker's doing a pretty decent job there. Really, we're just putting the boards there to kind of guide them. All right, pretty good here by Matt. Push it down and away. Good. All right, shows up here on 3rd and 12. Right And this one's really not the greatest. All right, you start to see the action, but it gets him up and out of the pocket right here. This is the clip, and honest to God, guys, I need to go back and redo some of this order. This clip right here, all right, 3rd and 11, our quarterback goes and makes something happen, doesn't necessarily see the look he wants, goes and makes it happen, and we get a first down. All right, so you'll see the push through right there. Happens right there off of the right tackle. All right. And now he gets out and he makes a play. And this is something that somebody told me a long time ago. Okay. I want you to watch the reaction of the sideline. Okay. You guys see it, right? Like you see our wide receivers coach right here. He's fired up, right? Boom. Right, here comes our head coach right here. He's coming screaming down the sideline. He's fired up, right? You look at all these guys right here. They're all fired up, right? What a lot of people don't talk to quarterbacks about, all right, is the fact that they are the great equalizer, all right? And here's what I'm talking about. Would our offensive line coach, let me back up here. Is our offensive line coach super happy with the set of 55 in this case? No, I would tell you that he's probably not, okay? And understand this, all right? I love our offensive line, and so does our quarterback, all right? But we talk to them about, like, in a quick release drill, right? If I can get the ball off, all right, and somebody didn't have the greatest technique up front or yada, 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 right? If I get the ball off and it's a completion, does anybody ever know that happened? Maybe the offensive line coach does, and maybe, one offensive lineman does, but he's going to feel a whole lot better about himself. We threw a completion, right? And the ball's moving. Quarterback, you're the great equalizer, right? So in this case, we're not super happy with how he's setting here, but because we've put a drill in to give ourselves the tools to make something happen with this, okay, now nobody really remembers this. They remember the run, right? They remember that we got the first down. We equalized something happening here so that our offense could be successful. And now that offensive line is going to play a whole lot harder because and feel a whole lot better about themselves because we just made a play, okay? And like I said, 14, he's a really good player, okay? So, and now we have the 5-cone pocket escape where we'll give them, their various sorry, guys, my thing is running away from me here. But we'll give them their various escapes and get them out of the pocket in a B gap escape and a C gap escape and stuff like that, okay? But guys, I appreciate you taking the time. My information is here, my email, my Twitter. So if there's anything that I can help with, guys, in any way, shape, or form, please let me know. I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch it. If there's anything, like I said, if there's anything I can do, please let me know.